Today I'm going to show you some other features of some LED fixtures we've got here today. First off, we're going to start with some 4-in-1 LEDs and a traditional looking LED. These are flat pars. So obviously there's a lot smaller than a normal par can. This one here is as an RGB LED par. This is an RGBW. So I'm going to show you the features of both of them. So with the RGB can, we have they operate similar to the same as a normal par can. That's RGB. One channel is the dim, and then we have a colour for red, a colour for green, and a colour for blue. And as you can see, there is all different sorts of LEDs that create those different colours. So a bit of a combination of different intensities, and obviously channel 1 is our master on that, gives us different sorts of lights we're after. Now, as opposed to this is an RGB can, this one here is an RGBW, but it's what they call a 4-in-1. Now the difference with this, and I'll show you, I'll leave the other one up for a minute, is we have a channel there dimmer, and then we have red. As you can see, all the LEDs are red as opposed to the RGB can here, which has got 6 reds, 6 blues, 6 green. Now they're all 3-watt LEDs, so you've got to do a bit of a maths about how much light comes out of them. This lamp here has got 7 LEDs, but they are what they call 4-in-1s, so we've got multicolours in the same fixture. So there we are, green, blue, and this one actually has white as well. So this one fixture has what they call the 4-in-1 LEDs as opposed to red LEDs, green LEDs, blue LEDs. This is 7 10-watt 4-in-1 LEDs, whereas this one is 36 3-watt LEDs. 70 watts versus a little bit more, 3 by 36. Good maths. But you do the maths, but the joy of it is this one has got more colours, more intensity. They operate the same. This one obviously being RGB will only give you combinations with RGB unless you put them all on to get a white. This one's actually got a dedicated white, plus obviously the red, the green and the blues, and you get all sorts of different colours with them with these two LEDs. Okay, so that's a little bit about RGB fixtures, RGB LED cans. Now, the other unit I want to show you today is a strobe. We've got a strobe set up the back. Let's bring the camera in the back of it for a minute. This strobe we've set up with a dip switch setting. Now again, I told you the other day, most of these units, like this little LED par, has got a digital setting for its display. Well, this strobe and some of these features still have a dip switch setting for their addressing. So this one is set at channel number 32, sorry 33 on my lighting desk. So to achieve that, I've got to push numbers 32 and number 1 down. So to do the maths, 32 and 1 makes 33. And as we know, the lighting desk will put light output up to 512 channels. So I've got to set my light to be at a certain address. So this is set at number 33 and the DMX light's flashing, so it's got data, it's ready to go. So we'll come back over here. Now this strobe light is a 1500 watt strobe light. Very bright, so it runs at 6 amps all by itself. So if you're using it on a circuit, as you can see, I've done my maths here. I've got my strobe, I've got a few little lights on my desk. I'm under about 8 lamps full load. But I'm not going to fire this strobe up at full power. If I did that, it's going to be very bright, but I'll show you how it works. So it's on channels 33 and 34 on my desk. 33 is my dim channel, and it's reverse on this one. 33 is my speed channel, and 34 is my dim. So I'm going to set my speed sort of slow, and I'll bring the dim up a little bit, and it will flicker. And I'll just let that dull because if it's too bright, it's going to be very bright. I can then change my speed, which is my first slider, 33. I can make it slow strobe, very slow strobe, or I can make it go very fast. And obviously I'll make that brighter, you'll see it better. So that's how DMX strobe works. Very simple. So it's got 2 sliders on it. One is the rate or speed, and one is the dim. And they're addressed, and up to 1500 watts is the biggest I've seen. On some shows and big commercial shows you might have bigger strobes, but this one at that is 6 amps when it fires. So that's how your DMX strobe works. Again, a dim and a speed. Okay, got the idea? That's a strobe. Okay, the other fixtures we're going to show you today are some moving heads. Now we've got a moving head that is a spot, and a moving over here which is the wash. Now we're going to go with the wash one for starters. This is the channel selections for this wash light. As it says, it takes 15 channels to work. So when I'm using my lighting desk, I've got to use my maths and work out I've got enough channels, where I'm going to address it to make it all do its thing. So I'll show you very simply how it works. We have channel number 1, but you don't need to worry about the channels. As it says on the instructions here, channel 1 makes the unit pan, and you can see the unit's panning left to right depending on where I put the channel 1 slider. Okay, Now channel 2 on this is what they call a fine pan, which means it makes a very minor adjustment when I want to use it. Channel 3 is a tilt. So it tilts the light backwards one way or tilts it the other. And so this is a moving light, so in a show it could be moving from side to side or up and down, and because we've got this many different parameters, we can make the light do all sorts of weird and wonderful things as it's moving around through a show. And we haven't actually got any colours coming out of this light yet, and that's the next thing we're going to do. Obviously there's some different channels I've got to assign for this. I've also got a vector channel with those movement ones, which means I can make the light move fast or slow depending on the vector speed. But we don't need to worry about that. So certainly pan and tilt are two of the main functions of a moving light. Next one is the dimmer, which in this one is channel number 6, and then we have some colour. So as you can see, this is again is a 4-in-1 unit, where the bulbs have got numerous colours coming out of the one fixture. So we've got red, we have green, we have blue, we have a white, and this one also has an orange or a yellow. So one fixture here can have 5 basic colour washes, red, green, blue, white and orange. And obviously then I can move it wherever I want, up or down, side to side, depending on where I set the slider on the desk. We also have what they call macros on this unit, which can set up some colour changing patterns all by itself. And I'll put the macros on there, and it's going to change things all by itself when it wants to change them. There's a speed control with that as well. Or you can obviously set it for the colour you want and the location you want. So that is how a moving head works, and this is a wash light. So with the LEDs, the beam angle is not concise, it is wide rather than tight, but this unit has, as I said, numerous LED colours in it, the red, green, blue, white and orange, all coming out of the one fixture. So that is how the wash works. Now the other one I'm going to show you is the profile, or a spot. Same sort of idea. We have, it will pan left and right depending on where I would put that intensity on the manual slider. And this one will also go up and down. Now, to show you how it works a bit today, I've taken some screws out of the unit and we're going to show you the inside of it. But before we get the inside of it, we obviously know that it goes left or right around that axis, and it also has, same as the wash, it tilts forward and backwards. One side's got the casing on still, one I've taken it off. Now I'm going to spin the unit around so it makes it easy for the camera assistant Jack here to get in and have a good look. Inside the unit is some little wheels you can see, and I'll just make these wheels move in a minute. One of the wheels is for a colour, the other wheel is for a pattern or a gobo. So the way these little things work, if I change the intensity on these, that's the bulb, I don't want the bulb just yet. There's the colour wheel I can see moving. I don't know if you can get that, Jack. So the colour wheel I can move depending on the intensity of what I want. The colour wheel will move, and then for the colour that's coming through that lens from the bulb is here. This is our colour wheel or our pattern wheel as well, our gobo, and our lens. The light that would come out where my hand is would depend on where that colour wheel is at. The next thing on this feature is obviously what they call a gobo wheel as well, which has got patterns. So on this there's patterns like bubbles, there are stars, etc. Depending on where I put that wheel, might be used from that angle even, Jack. Come in, I move that wheel around, you get different patterns that come out of the light. So this one light, yes, can create white light, it can create different colours, but also can create different patterns as well. Okay, I'm just going to show you, we've asked to show you the light. I've ripped a few more things off it here. You can see the gobo wheel and little patterns on it. I'm just turning the gobo wheel with my control. Now this is obviously not where the light source is. The light source on this light is actually underneath. So this is the other side of the wheel that you don't see. I've just taken both sides of this light off, just so you can see it actually moving easier. So you can see the gobo wheel there that's turned, it's got the different patterns on it. I'll just tip the light around. You can see the bulb on the other side. So if I do that with the light a bit more. Yeah. On that side you can see the colour wheel probably better. And again, if I change the different settings on the colour wheel would turn. The light you're seeing here, obviously this lens is not going to have colour going through it because the bulb is on the other side. So whatever the light is on the bottom of this wheel would be the colour the light produces. Once you turn the bulb on, you'll see that. So we're going to turn the light on, and I'll show you what I mean. We're just going to turn it upside down the other way so we don't get that bright bulb in our face. If we turn that light on, we'll try to focus on something. I'll focus on this bit of paper so you can see the effect. So there we have our light coming out as a white light. As I said, we can change the different, with a wheel that turns around inside, we have different colours coming off this. Yellow or reds or greens, blues, whatever wheel has got that coloured glass in it. It's not gel, obviously if it was gel it would melt. So this is coloured diachronic glass in there that has the pattern on it. And again, if you get your wheel half right, you get half of one colour and half of another like that. And so the other thing you can get with this is a pattern. And I think the focus is a bit short to see the patterns properly here. Oh, there we go. That's not too bad, is it? Oops. Under the hands. So on these patterns we can have like little lines with bubbles, swirly things, or of course we can just have an open white spot, or we can have it in a different colour, blue, green, yellow, red, whatever we want. And this is a little one obviously, so what we would do with this on a show, we'd set it up where the director wants the light in whatever colour, whatever pattern, or we'd use our controls to make the light go up and down, depending where the director wanted it for a show. So it's basically a spotlight, as you saw before. It's up on the roof. It's a spot, but again it can have, as I said, different colours or different patterns on it. You might be able to see the patterns better up there. But depending on what we want, this light can be very versatile. So that's how basically a moving head, in this one it's a moving head profile or a moving head spot, works as opposed to a moving head wash. And on some of the big concerts you'll go to, these are little baby ones obviously. Big concerts have got ones that are as big as, well, very sizable, that two people have to lift. And they have a massive beam of light that come out of them. Some are worth $20,000 to $25,000 for the dearest ones. They take some of them up to 47 channels of data to control, not just pan and tilt, but then they have fine pan and tilt. The gobo in wheel in the one that's a profile may actually have rotating gobo. They go one way, go the other way. They control the speed. They have focus in them. Some of them also have projecting images that come into them as well. So there's lots of things these lights can do. They're not just a simple one position spot like we used to have, but because they're a moving light, the world's your oyster with them. So hope that explains it. Obviously then if you've got more than one or two of these moving lights on a traditional lighting desk like this, this is a 96 channel desk, so it would handle quite a few of these lights. But if everyone took 15 or 20 channels out, this desk is not going to be able to cut it. So that's why now on shows they have computer desks that don't just have one universe of data coming out. Some of them have up to 4. So one desk that's probably half the size of this is more powerful than this old Jan's desk. But this is the basic principles of it. Data coming through, certain channel makes the light move, makes the light turn on, makes the show work. So there we are in a nutshell today. A bit about moving heads, a bit about lead pars and a strobe.